no good. Rebounded by Anthony. 2 seconds left. Anthony for the win. Cody rolls it. Cole Anthony gives the Magic a victory.
Close-up Magic.
All right. Welcome back to another episode of the Close-Up Magic. I'm your host, Stephen Cameron, and today we got a really fun episode. I'll be bringing up our guest shortly. Malik is not with us today. He has the night off, but he'll be back with us really shortly. We hopefully have a surprise for you later this week, which will be fun, and we'll talk about that if the surprise happens. But so stay tuned for possibly some bonus content. But until then, we have our regular show, and this week we have Patrik Shehu joining us. He's a contributor of the Close-Up Magic. He's written some articles for us. He's come on the podcast multiple times. You all should know him. Pretty active in Magic Twitter. Good friend of mine. So we're psyched to have him. He'll be joining us here in just a moment. Till we bring him up on the stage, I just want to get off all the necessary work of the housekeeping, as I like to call it. This podcast is brought to you by 19 Media Group. They support us. They're a great podcast network. A lot of really good shows. Go check them out. NBA Baseline is a NBA show that they do that covers the entire NBA. It's not necessarily team specific. It's run by Warren Shaw and Cal Lee. They're both really good. I believe they're both media credentialed. I know Warren is for sure. Cal might be. I can't remember off the top of my head. They've been doing this thing for a long time, so go check them out. That's just one of the many podcasts on the network, so I'll shout them out this week. They support us in many ways, like getting us merchandise. Looking for merch and want to support the show, you can find that in the show description, or it's on our link tree on any of our social pages. Last thing I want to hit on real quick is we have a giveaway that's running on right now for our Patreons. So if you sign up for Patreon, you're going to automatically be entered. To sign up for our Patreon, just click the link below. There's 2 different ways you can support us. There's a $5 tier and a $10 tier that gets you different access and bonus content and stuff like that, just for supporting us. And this giveaway that we're doing is really sweet. It's going to be an authentic Orlando Magic t-shirt. You're going to be able to pick the color that you want from the design. It is a pre-chosen design that we've already selected. You can see it linked on our Twitter account, but check out the shirt that we're going to give away. If you're watching on YouTube, you'll see it be flashing up right now as well. But you're going to be able to pick the color you want, obviously the size that you wear. We're going to get it to you no matter where you live, and ship it out. So go ahead and check that out. And if you're going to consider supporting the show, we'd really appreciate it with the Patreon aspect. It's really going to go a long way to help us out. So thank you. Without further ado, let's get Patrik on the stage and talk some Magic basketball. Patrik, what's going on, man? How you doing?
Good, man. How y'all doing? Or
doing
you
well.
I'm Malik.
Hey, you got habits in you, and it's fine. No, man, I'm doing great, man. We're recording this right after the Magic loss to the Nets, which was a entertaining game for many reasons. A little frustrating, but watching Kevin Durant do amazing things is kind of hard not to appreciate. And then seeing some good stuff out of our team was fun. Overall, doing well, feeling recovered and rested from Thanksgiving and a few days off work. Did you have a good holiday?
I did. It's always tough to get back into work, though, after you get a few days off.
Dude, absolutely. I feel that for sure. Man, so the last time Malik and I podcasted, it was after the last Pacers game on Monday, November 21st. Then the Magic had basically, half a week off. They played their next game versus the 76ers on November 25th. And then they played again, on Sunday. They played the 76ers and then followed it up with a back-to-back versus the Nets. The Magic have not won a game in 6 games. This is their, I believe sorry. 5-game losing streak. I misread. I forgot the Bulls win. We're on a 5-game losing streak, and that sucks. And we just played one of our best games in 5 games. And this is like the most injured aspect of the team we had. We literally only had 9 players active tonight. So it forced Mosley to actually play a tight rotation. Man, I think my biggest annoyance that I've felt on this, Patrik, and then I'm going to pass it to you to just kind of get your thoughts and whatnot, is obviously injuries suck, and we can get a little bit deeper into the injuries of this team in a little bit, but to see like the team just kind of like have an up and down to who they're playing just sucks. Like rebuilding Pacers, poor energy, both games. 76ers team that's missing its three best players with Harden, Embiid, and Maxey. Maybe if you consider Maxey fourth best, depending on your view on Tobias Harris, but whatever. Three of their top players. They play down to them low energy. Then they come to a healthy on a back-to-back with one of the most beat up rosters that we've had. They come out fighting, playing really well against a Nets team that's starting to roll. And it's just like they play down to some teams, they play up to others, and I just wish they played with a consistent effort on no matter who they're playing. And I think that's like, we can get into the nitty-gritty of each game and certain aspects of what annoys us with individual play and all that stuff, but just as like a team whole, I think that's my biggest complaint today. How are you feeling after this like 5-game losing streak the Magic are on right now, Patrick?
It's been I think it's probably the roughest patch so far. I mean, obviously when you lose 5 games in a row, it's rough regardless, but I think the injuries are starting to take a toll on our players. You finally get Paolo back. Gary Harris finally plays, and it's like we get 2 back, but we lose 4? And
Chuma's out. Ross is sick.
Right. Ross Bamba goes out with back spasms.
Bamba's out.
Jalen's hurt. And I feel like, it gets old for players. You can only do so much as a player when you're getting out there. And I get it sometimes, you don't want to, not that you don't want to play, but energy will be low some nights. And we have been playing down to teams, I guess you could say. But I feel like when you play these better teams, they might not, the Nets probably saw we have 9 players. And we're kind of let's get through this half. And then in the second half, we'll just, even though we did a great job. We stuck in the game.
Sure.
Paul had a great game. Bol had a great game. Gary Harris, we're both huge Gary Harris fans. He was great. Hopefully we can get him to stay here longer for the future. But I don't know. It's been tough. It's been hard to watch. That first Pacers game was good. I think we blew a lead in that, and they came back and won. The second one was just flat out disgusting to watch. And then the first Philly game was okay. We were there with them. Second game, disgusting to watch. And then, tonight was, it was okay because we went in with low expectations, even though probably a lot of the games we should because half the team doesn't play. But I thought we played well. Down the stretch, our youth showed. And I think our legs also showed because a lot of Paolo's moves were short, free throws were short. And I think he was up to 39 minutes. And I'm not even picking on him. I'm just giving an example. I think Bol
totally.
He played 39. There's tired legs there. I think energy's low. There's I haven't played at a high level. When you play basketball and reinforcement isn't coming and it's just you and maybe the 4 or 5 guys that you're with, it's tough, man. It's not fun.
Oh, there's definitely a mental aspect to it too. And playing up and down to the teams, there's that there is the energy aspect of these guys being overextended and playing roles that are probably too big for a lot of them right now, except for a few starters. But even those guys are playing extended minutes because of certain guys being out, like you said. There's mentally they're probably worn down too. Just knowing that they have there is no relief. If one of them goes out, it's just even worse and worse, and we had that little scare tonight with Franz and a little ankle turn. Hopefully it doesn't turn into anything. It was just a little 5-second weirdness, and he's okay. It doesn't show up on an injury report in the next couple of days, which would be awesome. Yeah, it's just been, I don't know, man. I have just the energy, man. It's just the inconsistencies of it is annoying. And I've gotten very tired of just accepting that injury is the main reason why certain guys don't bring it every single night. And it has a big factor of it, but at the same point, it's just it shouldn't be the main reason why this team just doesn't bring it on a consistent basis. Tonight was great. It's hard for me to be really all that upset after we lose tonight. This is a scheduled loss anyways, and we brought it down to the last couple of minutes, which was awesome. You know, gosh, like some players just had some really nice shots, some big plays with, you know, Gary Harris and you know, Bol had some nice shots. Paolo had some nice shots. There was this, there's one like almost like Carmelo like fadeaway with Durant guarding him on the corner. I think it was in the second half, and I'm just like, dude, this kid's special. That was just like really fun. With, I mean, KD was guarding him tight, and he just like did this turnaround fadeaway, like, you know, jumper on the side of the basket and went right in. It was beautiful. So it's fun to see him kind of get his rhythm. Missing some free throws, which is a little concerning considering how well he was shooting at the beginning of the season. That was a little weird. How have you thought about Paolo since he's returned from injury the last couple of games?
He's definitely rusty.
Yeah.
I don't know, like, I don't think his ankle's hurt or anything. I mean, maybe it's still like a little whatever, like a little banged up. Maybe he rushed himself back. Like, and I don't mean that in like a worrisome way, but like if you're at 90%, I think you should play. I get that we're 5-15, but like it's more valuable to play basketball than it is to sit out. So I think if he was 90% or 85%, he should be playing. And
sure,
that's maybe what he's doing. A lot of his shots are kind of short, even though his shots were already short. And, you know, we've already all talked about in the group chat, we're like, that's something he's going to have to work on. As weird as it sounds, I think his free throws, specifically those two that he missed at the end of the game, and maybe I think he split a few in the third quarter or early fourth. I think that's tired legs.
Yeah.
It sounds weird where, like, you know, free throws shouldn't be tiresome, but like when you're tired at the line, you're tired. Like, it doesn't matter where you're at. Like, it's even more so there because it's like everything's kind of calm and you're trying to catch your breath. So at least when you're playing, there's like some type of adrenaline. When you're at the free throw line, it's kind of like eyes on you.
Totally.
Tired? Are you tired? This, that, and the third. So I think those will come. I mean, even if he continues to struggle with them, I think his shooting mechanics are fine, and it'll just take a summer for him to really, like, all we need him is at like 70-75%, honestly. Like, I don't need Steph Curry at the line. He does it better. So
sit him in clutch. I mean, shooting at 75% right now. I mean, I don't know if that's including tonight's statistics. I doubt this has been updated since then, but yeah, he's still shooting at 75%, which is, it's not bad. So, what's been the biggest surprise for you in the last couple of games?
Oof. I don't know. I mean, I don't have any bad surprises, or the good surprise. I mean, Bol has been a surprise all year.
Yeah,
he's been great. You know how I feel about him. I mean, I'm still kind of like the jury's out for me because the offense is fun and putting up 20 points is fun, but I personally think he gets lost a lot on defense. I know me and Rami kind of go back and forth about that, but I personally believe he gets lost on defense and it hurts us a lot on rotations. But he's been a great surprise offensively. He's like majestic. It's crazy.
He's a weird man.
Like, I'm like, that's such a bad shot. But then for him, I don't know if it is like one-handed over three people. I'm like, no one's really going to block him. Like, and he's not missing. So I guess we're cool with that. I thought Franz is like, I think his jump from the first month to even now has been like kind of surprising. And then that might have to do with, Paolo going out. And of course, Paolo takes the ball out of his hands. So maybe we're seeing more of like Germany Franz where he has to do more. But I don't know. I think it's a little bit more special when he does it at the NBA level, even though the FIBA level is fantastic. But seeing him doing it against like his peers in the NBA that, are better than him, I'm like, okay, like I see you. I'm excited. I said it today, like I'll keep Mo Wagner if it means we get Franz forever. So
yeah, me too, man. Like if we have to keep Mo on the bench, and it's funny, man. For the most part, you and I are pretty we're pretty similar with how we view certain players. Like we both have frustrations with Bol, we both have frustrations with Mo Wagner. We both love Gary Harris. So I think there's a few players down the road where we've had some differences on, but for the most part, we're pretty in line. And yeah, if we have to keep Mo on the team as like the 14th, 15th guy, and that just means we get Franz for the next, 10 years, 15 years, I'll be happy. Yeah, Mo can be the cheerleader. That's not a problem. Yeah, dude, Bol's been like, I want to circle back there because like every now and then you just see him do something and you cringe, and then but it goes in. It goes in. I'm like, dude, why are you doing that pull up 3 when there's 20 seconds left on the shot clock and it just like fucking drains it? It's like, I don't get it. It's weird. Like, I mean, gosh, I don't have the full stats, but he had 24 points tonight. I'm a little annoyed at his rebounding. Like, dude, you are the tallest guy, the longest guy on the floor. You should have more than 10 rebounds every single night. Like, especially right now when you're playing, 39 minutes, like, why do you only have 6 rebounds? That's obnoxious. He's getting out rebounded by guards. Caleb Houston tonight had a team high rebounds of 7. Yeah. So that's kind of annoying. And like, as you were mentioning earlier, some defensive concerns, but like offensively with his scoring, it is just kind of like freaky.
It is.
He always goes in.
Watch, honestly, on offense, I'm like, on the break, I'm like, please pass. And all of a sudden he does, like I said, that Euro step, and then he finishes. I'm like, okay, I'm sorry. Don't listen to me. Like,
yeah, he just does all the weird shit that you just don't expect to go in. It's kind of weird. It's kind of weird. I don't want him as a starter. I know some people like want him as a starter when this team gets healthy. I don't. It's not always just because of the concerns with him. I also just want to see Franz more at the 3 in a 2-guard lineup with some different point of attack like possibilities there. And it's just my preference. And plus, Bol I don't love his defense either. And so, we'll see as this team gets healthy, which let's talk about some injuries for a little bit, man. Like, this team's getting close to having a bunch of guys back. It seems like, but it also feels like every time, like you mentioned, every time we get someone else goes out, and it's super frustrating. We had Chumo Kiki go out recently. We've had Mo Bamba missed now a game and a half. He went out in the middle of the last Philadelphia game with back spasms or back soreness, and now he's still out. Terrence Ross has an illness, which he tried to play through last night versus the 76ers. And then, didn't return after, I think, halftime or sometime in the second quarter. We still don't have Cole Anthony. We still don't have Markelle Fultz, which we'll circle back to in a second. Who else are we missing? We're missing Jonathan Isaac. Wendell. Yeah, he's been out with plantar fasciitis. He came back for that one game and then has now missed like 3 since then. That scares me a little bit, man. The plantar fasciitis scares me. I know some people just say like it's not that scary, but as someone who's had a wife that had to have surgery on it because of that, and you hear reports, every other year of an NBA player like being out for plantar fasciitis and having surgery on it, like I'm trying not to go down the dark rabbit hole of thinking he's going to have it. But at the same point, like the more time he misses, the more concerned I'm going to be. It's And of course his front office isn't going to tell us anything. Super frustrating. It seems like we're going to get a few of these guys back though, pretty soon. Cole Anthony seems to be fairly close. He's traveling with the team now. Ross and Bamba did not travel with the team. Bamba traveled? Okay. Yeah. Bamba traveled. But he was out for tonight. So, I imagine he's probably pretty close. Ross, unless it's COVID or something like really weird, he should be back, but he looked pretty healthy on the stream that went viral today or yesterday. He didn't sound like congested or anything, so I imagine he'd be back fairly soon. Fultz sounds like he's going to be back relatively soon. Let's talk about Fultz for a second. I know your game, but this was weird. This was weird to me. Let me know how you feel about it. So a couple of nights ago, before it was in between the 76ers games, Fultz got upgraded to questionable. And then a couple hours before tip-off or earlier in that morning, I forget when, the next day during the game, or game day, he got rejected or turned down to not playing, to out. And it really set off a lot of frustration to fans, including myself. And then he immediately got canceled out for the road trip too, which is frustrating. So it's like, why even move him to questionable if you know most likely he's not going to play? That's just like, it just felt like an unnecessary move that got a lot of fans' hopes up. How did you receive all that information emotionally?
Well, like Markel, that's probably my favorite player on the Magic. Probably second to Paolo now, but I've been his fan since I remember the day he got traded. Like I've been super excited about him. So when I thought he was questionable, I was super hyped. I started looking at tickets. Like let's go watch it. Like he was coming back, and I think Paolo returned in that same game.
Yeah, he did.
Did he? Yeah. So
I believe so.
We're getting Markel and Paolo back. Like this was before I knew Wendell was also going to be out. Actually, no, I think I knew that. So let me not say that. But Markel and Paolo, I want to go watch. They were doing like the little posts and everything, so they made it seem like they were about to play together. And then he gets ruled out, which I also found super weird. I thought it was like one of two things. One is like it was a marketing ploy to get people in seats because nobody wants to watch G Leaguers anymore, respectfully. Or
Fair.
two, he really just couldn't, like, it was like a tank move and he just couldn't get like ramped up or something. But that doesn't make any sense to me. Like, I don't see how a broken toe can flare up. Like, it's either, you know what I'm saying? Like, you should know his conditioning. You should know where he's at. Like, what could have happened during, like, if his toe was hurting during warmups, we have bigger issues. You know what I'm saying? So I'm hoping it was like a marketing ploy or like a tank move. Like, I don't hope it was a tank move. I hope it was like a marketing ploy to get people in the seats, and they never planned on it. Even though that's shitty to me. Like, I don't like that. But this is just me, like, grasping at straws because I really don't see how he can be questionable and then he's out. Like, there's nothing, like, it's not a sprained ankle. It's not ligaments. Like, it's either it's broken and it's healed, and now it's just conditioning.
Yeah. And I agree. I agree with all that. As someone who's broken many, many bones, like it just felt really confusing that they would even just take him to questionable in the first place. It's like, you probably know he's not playing. Like it's, have you not been testing it out for the last couple of weeks to see where he's at? Like, yeah, I don't know. It's weird.
I thought it was super weird. Like,
yeah,
Markel plays in that first Philly game, we probably win. It's probably a worry. I could be wrong, and I hope I'm wrong, but I truly believe it's like a tank move because I just don't see any other reason, or the marketing thing I said, like maybe just try and get people in seats. But like Markel said from weeks, like, he said in the beginning of the season, like, I can play right now if I had to.
Yeah.
But they want to keep milking this, so I don't understand what's really.
And then you have that video that leaks of Terrence Ross where he's like, not leaks, he's streaming, so it's there. But you have that video of Terrence Ross saying, the front office doesn't tell them anything. They wouldn't be surprised if Markelle Fultz plays one game and is out for the next 12 or something like that. And it's just like, that's frustrating because then you can tell that the team doesn't get much communication from the front office about this kind of stuff either. And or the staff, I'm not gonna, who knows where it's actually coming down from, but it's just annoying. It's just annoying. The communication around players and player injuries is something we've been complaining about with this front office for years, and now this team has had 3-4 seasons in the last couple of years where it's just been absolutely awful injuries. We had this season already, last season, season before that. And then like a couple seasons before that, we were just had nothing but catastrophic injuries over and over and over and over again. It's like, what the fuck's going on? Like, do we really have this much bad luck? Does the training staff just like suck at getting them conditioned for injury prevention? Like, obviously, like stubbing your toe on furniture, there's some things that are just going to happen, right? But like, some of this other stuff is just fucking obnoxious, man. It's like, how are we constantly getting this banged up? And yeah, maybe I go down a little bit of conspiracy theories, and that's just kind of part of who I am. And, if I tend to look at everyone individually, it kind of does make more sense, but I don't do that all the time. And I'll admit that, but it's just like, how do we keep having this much luck that's not going in our favor, or bad luck that's not going, it's just like, it's fucking obnoxious, dude. It really is.
I'm running out of answers. I'll get the front office out of here. What, 2 days ago, a game ago. It's annoying, bro. Like, I don't understand. Like, being in Orlando, like, I have money to spend on tickets. Like, I want to go to games.
Yeah.
I don't want to watch the product. I refuse. It doesn't make any sense. Like,
it's tough.
Dude, there's no way we have the slowest recovering team in the NBA. There's just no way. Are we picking them on purpose? What are we doing? Like, nobody's recovering on. I mean, Malik always brings up how, maybe we're exaggerating timelines, and I get it, but like, we milk them to the very last day. Like, if it's 6 to 8, it's the 8th week on the 7th day, and then he's questionable that night. Yeah.
Or late by a week or two, And
I don't. There's just no way I think it's bad on the body to not play. Like, if you can play, you need to play, because when you're out, like, I worry for Jonathan Isaac when he comes back. When you're out of the game for so long, like, him playing with coaches, whatever he's doing, obviously he's trying to get conditioning up. But when he goes and plays he would have to guard KD tonight.
Yeah.
Like, that's a whole different ballgame. Like, there's bumping, there's getting to the rim, like, you're getting thrown around. Like, it's not, your body has to get just thrown back into that. I don't know. It worries me.
They need to send Jonathan Isaac to the G League to get some reps. Seriously.
I'm okay with that.
Like, go condition versus the G Leaguers. Like, that's why that team is there. If he's conditioning with 5-on-5 with coaches, why not condition with the G League team? It's supervised.
Right. He doesn't even have to play. He can just be in practice.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't understand why they haven't done that route with him yet. Especially when you read like Kobe's article where he's physically saying like, yeah, I could play, I could go out there and play 10 minutes or so. Like, okay, so he's somewhere. Why? It's frustrating. Then they don't go specifics. Is he like doing like full contact with players? I mean, why is he not going with players? But at the same point, I don't know if like players are going full contact. Like, maybe coaches 5-on-5 is like a pretty common thing in the NBA, and I just don't know at this point of the stage. I haven't seen a practice or in ages. So, I do want to talk about something that is fun and exciting and has been a positive return so far is Gary Harris, man. That dude is he's so steady, I think is a good word to describe him. He's still finding certain things, but like game 1, he's back. You just watch him on defense. He's so quick. He knows where to go. He doesn't hesitate when he's picking up another guy on a switch or his guy's moving and he's following him. When he's not on point of attack, he can handle point of attack. You saw that a bit tonight with him on Kyrie. And you saw it, in the 76ers games. Is he first team all defender? No, not at all. I'm not even saying he's that. He's just a really smart defender. I don't often have complaints about it. And he's just so quick. And then you watch him on offense too, and that quickness comes with off-ball play too. Like, he moves really well off the ball. He's a smart cutter, and he's got that corner 3 special, man. Like, talk to me about some Gary Harris, man. What have you seen with him coming back so far, and how he's affected this team, and how you think he can affect this team as they get healthier?
I think he's been great. He's kind of like been kind of what we wanted from Terrence Ross, a little bit more consistency, a little bit less of the bad shots. Mind you, a lot of his shots are falling right now. Can he keep up? I think he's shooting like 42% from 3, 43. Can he keep that up? I don't know. I'm okay with 37, 38% from the field, but I think you hit it on the head with defensively. Like, he's not the best defender in the NBA, and he's not first team all defense, but he'll definitely get into a player. He'll definitely make them uncomfortable. He's definitely probably our best defender. with everybody right now that's not healthy. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
pretty Suggs and obviously Isaac, but he's third to that. I don't unless you have somebody else you can think of. I can't think of anybody else.
Some people might say Franz over him, but I
don't think I'm taking from. I think he
I don't.
moves laterally, and he
Yeah.
can guard probably the 2, the 3, and the 1. I don't think Franz can guard guards that well.
And this is why I want Franz at the 3, and we run 2 guard lineups, because you need someone that can be quick like that. And Franz is quick, but he's not Gary Harris quick. He's not Jalen Suggs quick, and you kind of need that. And it's just, I think Franz does struggle a little bit with point of attack defense from time to time too, where Gary Harris, I think, can handle that a little bit, like you said, better at guarding 1s and 2s. Yeah, man, I would agree with you. I think if this whole team is healthy, he's probably 3rd best defender on the team, if not 2nd.
I also think, like, with the Franz point you made, I think him guarding guards gets him in foul trouble because he doesn't back down from anybody, and he tries to make the play. I applaud and I love, but it gets him in trouble. Like tonight, he was playing the 2, and I know everything. I think he got like 1 or 2 offensive fouls, so it wasn't all on defensive end, but like it puts him in predicaments. Like he's got to guard these guys. He's gonna have to foul them if they get by, or he's gonna pass them on to no rim protection. So I don't know. I agree with you. I want Franz at a 3. That's another one of my points of like you either got to move Bol or Paolo to the bench because Bol can't play center and Paolo can't. So you got to pick one. And I'm not picking Bol, so I want Paolo to start. So that's another like thing that you brought up earlier. So yeah, Gary Harris. I'd love him at the 2 or the first man off the bench next to Markelle.
Yeah.
Just moving forward.
He's a nice floor spacer, man. And Harris over Suggs at the starting spot. If we're trying to win today, you throw Harris there, but at the same point, like Suggs needs that development too. And his off the dribble, his pull up jumpers have been really solid before he went down for injury. His catch and shoot definitely needs some work, but like a lot of that will come with better looks playing next to Markelle Fultz too, I think, as the game hopefully slows down for the whole team when Fultz is back on the floor. And that should hopefully generate some, I'm not going to say all of his catch and shoot shots have been bad, but just better situations for him, right. At least mentally, to hopefully improve that catch and shoot stuff, some in-game reps there. But if we're trying to win today, throw Gary Harris there because he's shooting 40%. Last year he shot 38%, and that was after like 2 months of the worst shooting I've ever seen. What he started last season at. So it's just nice to have options right there, right? And when this team gets healthy, and it's going to get healthy, Suggs will be back in the next week or 2, I'd imagine. He typically is the only player that bounces back quickly from injuries on this Magic team. It does sound like Fultz is going to be back relatively soon. RJ Hampton's been a little bit of a funk the last couple of days, but he's also been asked to play a heavier role of on ball than he did before, where he was kind of more of like a floating guard. For the second unit's even more troubled right now. So that's been tough for him. So yeah, I don't know, man. Gary Harris has been really nice, and he's going to fit really nicely when this team gets healthy. It's going to be great. I think you're just going to see I can already kind of feel what having a veteran of his calmness does for a team that's like half injured and half with G Leaguers. Like now just imagine that next to, young, but much better and more, just much better NBA players, that he can play next to. I think it's just really going to add to what this team can do defensively, rotation wise, depth wise. It's going to be really nice with him coming back and hopefully these other players coming back. And man, hopefully Markelle Fultz is back this week. Some people have the Wednesday game circled, I think against Atlanta, which would be sweet. Let's talk about the upcoming schedule for a moment, man. Let me pull it up. So today today's Monday, the 28th. We lost to the Nets. We then moved to hold on, sorry. I'm looking at today's basketball schedule, not just the Magic's. I need to look at the Magic schedule.
It's rough.
It's not pretty. It's not pretty at all. This upcoming schedule is really tough. So, the Magic are at home versus the Hawks on Wednesday the 30th. I got the schedule pulled up now. Then we travel on the road on Friday, December 2nd versus the Cavs, which hopefully we're traveling with a little bit better health on that part. Like Monday, we could get some guys back. We continue the road trip and go to Toronto versus the Raptors. We head back home on Monday the 5th, so a week from now, to welcome the Bucks home, followed by the Clippers, followed by the Raptors, followed by the Raptors, followed by the Hawks. That brings us up to December 14th. A nice little road homestand, 5-game homestand. But then, we hit the road for back-to-back games. A day in between, but we play the Celtics 2 days in a row. It doesn't lighten up until like December 21st, which is like kind of chill. We play the Rockets. We play the Spurs, which you and I are going to that game. We have the Lakers coming through, followed by the Pistons and Wizards and Thunder. It does lighten up a little bit, but there's like, dude, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The next 10 games are fucking brutal, dude. Like, if we could go 3-7, I'd be fucking psyched.
Me too. I was just gonna say, give me 3-7, and I won't complain too much.
Yeah. 4-6 would be a miracle. What games do you think? Looking at the schedule, what games do you think we might be able to squeak something out?
Depending on health, I could see us. Atlanta's struggling.
Yeah.
We could maybe get a win there against Atlanta. We're at home. Hopefully there's energy in the building because, Fultz is back and hopefully somebody else is back. Maybe when maybe Jalen or Chuma or somebody, they're back, hopefully. I don't know. I always like our chances against Toronto.
Yeah.
That might be fueled by my dislike for Toronto, but Cleveland, we went toe-to-toe with them, but we're way more banged up than we were. This just depends on health. Every team we've on this road trip, or not road trip, on this stretch we've played, and we've played well, or we haven't played them yet. So, like Milwaukee, we always get destroyed by, I feel like.
Yeah.
Bucks always.
Giannis is going to wreck us.
He's just 20, unless Jonathan Isaac comes out with a cape on. Milwaukee, the Clips maybe, depending on if Kawhi decides to play basketball or not.
Sure, yeah.
Those back-to-back home games against Toronto, man, I don't fear Toronto at all. Maybe I'm wrong. I can see most of our wins can come against Toronto and the Hawks, and maybe steal one in Boston. I'm not entirely sure. I just don't see us beating the Bucks at all. Like the Bucks, you can go ahead and just put an L next year. If we win that, I'll be super impressed, depending on how we do it. Hopefully their guys are sitting out for rest. But Toronto, yeah, I'd circle Toronto and Atlanta, and maybe the Clippers, depending on health.
Those are good games, and we do play the Raptors fairly close to each other, so like there's time for adjustments there if needed, and guys to return from health. It's the second time we play them as a home game, which is nice. So I kind of agree with you. Those would be the teams I would look at. The Bucks scheduled loss. I think the Cavs are going to be too much for us too on the road. I just don't think we'll be healthy enough for them. Clippers, hopefully. That 5-game homestand, man, we could receive a lot of players back during that time frame. Because it's like none of these injuries right now, except for like we don't know what's going on with Jonathan. Like it sounds like a lot of guys are going to be close for the most part. So, and that 5-game homestand is a really good opportunity for guys to show back up and play. So I'm looking forward to it. Now we did learn with the return of Gary Harris, he returned on a road game. I know a lot of people say like, oh, they'll return him on a home game, and maybe that's possible, but Harris hasn't played all season, and they brought him back on a road game. So that kind of threw a lot of theories, particularly mine, out of the window. So we'll see. But I do still think that homestand, a lot of guys are going to get some practice, comfortability. They're not traveling. So all the more reason for guys to be able to come back during that 5-game homestand. So, Patrick, Before we wrap this up, I just want to give you the opportunity to say anything else. Any thoughts that you're psyched on with the Magic? Anything that, like, this is called the Magic venting session. So is there anything you want to get off your chest, bro?
I mean, I feel like we talked about it all. Starting job is Markel's to lose. I hope nobody has that confused. He is our, I'll say third most valuable player on our team right now. You can come see me in the DMs whenever. You can at me. I can talk about it all day.
Find you on the corner of the streets.
The whole Wendell thing that gets under my skin.
And my internet freezes.
There's never been a time where you said what?
I said, of course I say that. My internet freezes. I said, go find you on the streets, and then my internet froze.
No, I'm not in the streets, but no, I have time for that. I don't think there's a better guard on our team. I'm excited for him to come back. I am hoping that 3-point shot, I don't need it to be great, but I need it to be decent. But that's it. I'll just stand that. Other than that, we know what we have in Paolo, Franz, and the rest of the guys I don't really dive into. But Paolo, Franz, and Markel, that's it. That's all I got.
You know, I feel that too, man. I'm very excited for Fultz. I don't want them to play with my emotions anymore. Don't give me this questionable bullshit. Just go yes or no. I don't want any of that other stuff. Yes or no. Not day to day. He's either playing or he's not. Give me that front office, please. That's the kind of communication I want from you. And man, that would just be nice. Minimum. What?
I said you're asking for the bare minimum, by the way.
Bare minimum. That's all I want. That's all I want. So, you know, this team has done a lot of losing. It'd be nice to get a couple W's soon. We're feeling it. I'm sure the team's feeling it. You know, I don't know if Coach is a good bounce back guy yet. I think that's the one last thing I want to touch on real quick is whenever effort was really bad with Clifford, the very next game, it was hardly ever repeated 2 games in a row. I don't know if I have that faith in Mosley yet. And yes, injuries, for all you people that just want to yell injuries at me, I understand that. But at the same point, we've seen some things. So as we transition to hopefully a healthier team in the next week or two, I'm really looking forward to seeing what Coach Mosley does well and struggles at, and to see if some of my concerns with him now will carry or will be shored up, and it really is just a injury and talent thing, or does he suck at his job? I don't know. So we'll see. We'll find out. But Patrik, I want to thank you for coming on the show. Listeners, short, sweet one for you all today. You know, just a little over 40 minutes. We appreciate you tuning in. Stay tuned because we're probably going to have a little something for you later this week. Check out the giveaway. You know, we'd really appreciate your support through Patreon. Plus, you can win some cool shit like a free t-shirt, Orlando Magic official one. And that's just like the first of the giveaways we're going to do. The more active participants we get, the more Patreon subscribers we get, the more cool, bigger giveaways that we're going to be able to do. Tickets, jerseys, all the cool stuff. So we appreciate you. And let's go Magic. Peace.
Always.